Hello again. Today and tomorrow I want to talk about the concerted efforts being made to eradicate British history and ensure that school children in the country grow up without any sense of national identity, let alone pride in their nation. The thumbnail to this video shows a typical young man in today's Britain. Just feast your eyes upon him. He's wearing a t-shirt with a pair of glasses hanging from the front, a scrubby beard, very trendy haircut, and more tattoos than a Maori warrior. Horrifying to relate, this chap is the headmaster of a junior school in England. Presumably he hopes that his superficial appearance to a footballer or pop star will make him a role model for the pupils at his school. Until a short while ago, his school, Howden Junior School in Yorkshire, had houses which were named after famous English people such as Admiral Nelson, Francis Drake and Sir Walter Raleigh. The head, though, Lee Hill, he would be called Lee, wouldn't he, received an email from a former pupil complaining about this. Mr. Hill reveals a lot about himself in his account of this email, describing it as brave and courageous to send to a white male in a position of power. I have to say, I've never thought of the headmasters of junior schools as being in a position of power before, but that's how Lee Hill sees himself. I might mention too that there's nothing particularly brave or courageous in sending an email. Lord Nelson was certainly brave. He led his men into battle at Trafalgar in 1805 and was killed in the process. He exposed himself to danger. That's bravery. So Nelson was brave and courageous. Somebody who sent an email to the former headmaster of a primary school, that's not quite in the same level of courage and bravery as Nelson. But still, Mr. Hill said that he didn't know anything about Nelson, Drake or Raleigh before he got the email, which tells us a great deal about him. How somebody so ignorant is thought to fit to run a school is an interesting question. Even worse, he says that none of our pupils know who they are. What a terrible indictment of the education which he's providing at the school. He's replacing these great men with 4 people, not one of whom is a white British person. Seriously. One of the people who will be replacing people like Nelson and Drake is a 23-year-old black American woman called Amanda Gorman. No, I've never heard of her either. She's a with-it poet, I think. That's sufficient. She's young and black. Then there's Greta Thunberg and the Pakistani girl Malala. Obviously, Marcus Rashton has been in the newspapers lately, so he's a shoo-in. This is not an isolated incident, but part of an increasingly organised campaign to strip Britain of its history and replace it with the exploits of various foreign teenagers. Greta Thunberg is Swedish, Malala is Pakistani, Amanda Gorman is American, Marcus Rashford is Black Caribbean, born in England. The days when schools provided copies of the Ladybird books about Nelson's life are, of course, in the distant past. All this reminds me a little bit of Year Zero in Cambodia after the Khmer Rouge regime took control. The barbarians are no longer at the gate. They are now running our schools and indoctrinating our children with a hatred of everything English and white. Today it's Nelson and Churchill, but it's not stopping there. I shall tomorrow have more to say about this.